Hello guys, this is Pedram Raufi and you're watching the markets review. During this program we are going to go through the stock market, forex market, and of course the cryptocurrency market. We are going to see what kind of news background we have and what is going on with the markets. On an example of the MT4 charts of forex pairs, most popular indexes of United States stock market, and of course the cryptocurrency main currencies. We are going to go through all of them, check all of them, and see what kind of potential of the price movement we could have during the day for day traders. So what kind of targets for trading we could actually choose for today. We are going to start our today's video from the news, of course. As you know, the geopolitical situation in the world is kind of changing. We had the meeting of the United States president with China's president, which ends with a real kind of disappointing thing, which is related to Taiwan. As you know, China is really targeted on Taiwan. It's kind of there is some scare in the world about that China could actually invade Taiwan, and it was a main scare in the Trump era, and now this scare is actually continuing to rise. There is a scare of the Russian aggression, and of course the Russian invasion to Ukraine as well, which could help the gas and oil market to get higher, or as we say, to pump a little bit. We are going to go through the oil markets as well. We're going to see what is going on with the prices. They've been dumped from yesterday, but why exactly, and what is the trigger? We're going to talk about it as well. As you know, the situation in Taiwan is located, territorially, it's located near to the Chinese Sea, and in this near to the Chinese Sea, there's a ports, the Chinese ports, which are actually importing a huge amount of oil into China, which is used in the manufacturing and etc. And of course, the escalation of the situation near to the Chinese Sea, it could really make a real hard pressure on the demand of oil. So if the demand of oil is under pressure, the oil prices is going to get dumped. As we see, they are get dumping, and the other reason of oil prices dumping nowadays is that United States President Joe Biden is very interested to solve the problem of the energy crisis. So he's going to rise the output of oil, United States oil output, which we had yesterday, and the releases from United States are showing us that actually the oil output from United States is getting higher and higher, because it's the target of the policy of the United States of America. OPEC plus is really disappointed, but what could they do? OPEC mainly is telling that don't scare about this factor, oil prices is going to rise anyway. So OPEC plus is Russia, is Saudi Arabia, and the other some other countries which are really depends on oil prices because of their GDP, which is really depend on oil prices. But OPEC mainly says that don't be so scared. Actual the escalation of situation in the China Sea could kind of make a pressure on oil market. But on the other way, the vaccination, the progress in the vaccination, and the statistics of coronavirus in China is actually hidden. They are not gonna show us how many people is dying there. So as a factor, all of these factors would be really play on the side of oil prices rising. So we are kind of more sure about the continuation of the main upward movement of oil prices, which is we are going to see now what is going on with oil prices. Let's see on the chart of oil prices. As we saw, yesterday's impulse was really powerful, and this is the yesterday's impulse. That's a daily chart, and that's a daily candle. Yesterday's candle was really impulsive, really powerful, really abnormal. And this factor is telling us that actually they are getting retest support, and we're retesting the support with a really high impulse. And Of course, this impulse is related to the oil output of United States releases from yesterday, which showed us that the oil output is getting higher in the United States. And of course, the demand of oil is really related to the China's ports, into China's imports, which could get under pressure if something wrong goes on near to Taiwan, if some invasion happened in Taiwan. So there are some factors that could really make oil prices in nowadays down. But this downward movement is correctional. As we see, we are actually retested the local support, and the amplitude is getting really lower. So would the prices go further downward? I'm not so sure, but we can actually take some targets so we could know how much it could get dumped. 76 and actually 78 now it costs, but I think it's gonna get above 78 in the future. But let's see how further it could really get dumped. I think that not so much far, and that's a retest of local support. So I don't really think that it's gonna really get dumped too far. 76, let's say $76 and $74. And that's a range, support range, which oil could really retest in the near future. And if it retested within one impulse, with an abnormal candle, it would be a really good signal of next reversal and the continuation of whole rising tendency, whole rising trend. During the day, due to the reversal which we have on the 15 hours chart, and actually here we have a convergence. Here we have a convergence on the 15-minute charts, and we have the formation of the wedge. That's a pattern, that's a reversal pattern, and this pattern now is showing us that we actually could have the next reversal really soon. So during the day, for day traders, we have to pay attention on the $78, maybe 77.20, 77.40. So if we get strength at above 77.20 or 77.40, it could be a really good signal of next continuation of upward movement. Now we have a real powerful impulse. So this impulse could really finish by the retest of 77.40, 77.20. So be careful. Mainly, we are waiting for reversal. Here is a convergence, which is the sign of reversal. Really impulsive down retest of the main support, which is a reversal sign as well. But we have to wait for this reversal. So we have to actually be careful, and we are waiting for the retest of 77.40, 77.20. After that, we maybe could get dumped again to 276, 274 even. But after that, we can actually get pumped. So we have to, for now, we are waiting for a retest of 77.40, 77.20. And then after that, maybe the upward movement could get stopped. And if we get strength above 77.40, that would be good news. If we are under it, that's not a really good news for bulls, so bulls have to wait. And of course, about the Russian invasion to Ukraine, there's too many news nowadays. And as you know, the tension actually is getting higher. The escalation of situation between Russia and Ukraine is getting higher as well. And here's a natural gas prices, which is really depends on the situation which is going on near to Ukraine, near to Russia, on the borders. And of course, the oil prices are not getting dumped as well. As you know, the escalation of situation in the Eastern Europe, it could have a really big effect on the natural gas prices. And natural gas prices could really get pumped if something goes wrong between Russia and Ukraine. And as we see, the escalation is kind of getting higher. So we are waiting for next upward movement. Prices are showing us that they're forming a widening formation, which means that we could have a reversal, especially because this formation is near to the local support of actually $5 and $4.80, $4.60, $4.80. So let's go through the 15-minute chart. We have a really great reversal. We have a really interesting reversal and really moderate continuation of the upward movement here. We have some impulses now, which could really mean that maybe in the near future we could have some downward movements as well. But here we have a really low risk for next midterm buyings. So really low risk. Maybe we actually need to wait a little so it get dumped a little. And if you hadn't get into oil yet, but here we had a really low risk, and we need to wait as well. The escalation of situation in the Eastern Europe could really help the oil prices to get higher. And as you know, the Nord Stream number 2 is not going to be ready in the near future, and this factor as well make its own pressure on the oil, as we say, supply, which make the demand go higher and make the prices of gas go higher as well. Gas supplies. The Nord Stream the second Nord Stream project is not going to be ready in the near future, and of course Russia have to supply more gas to Europe, which is starting to do, which is actually trying to make this happen. But as analysts say, there's a really low. Their predictions are not so positive about this factor. They could promise, but it won't happen, maybe. So the supply is under pressure, and as we see, the demand gonna go higher. And here, $5 could get retested in the near future. And if we get strengthened above $5, this could be a really good news for gas prices to go higher, to 520, to 5, maybe 40 even. And we are waiting, and this accumulation of energy, this moderate upward movement could really cause the next upward impulse and the continuation of the upward movement in the future, in the midterm, I mean. So let's go through the economic calendar of today. For day traders, don't forget to pay attention on the releases from the United States at 13 o'clock by Greenwich time, 13:30. Initial jobless claims and Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index, which is positive. The predictions are positive here about initial jobless claims. They are positive as well, showing us that the initial jobless claims are getting lower, are gonna get lower. So the situation in the job market in the United States is not really good, but it's getting better. The best situation in the job market is actually in the United Kingdom job market, which is fully vaccinated. Not in Europe, not in the United States, but in the Great Britain. And the Great Britain is going to hike the interest rates, maybe faster than United States, maybe faster than European Union. So that's the reason why GBP, why the British pound is so powerful now. And the Brexit kind of helped the country to actually not get so involved in all of this bad negative things which had just happened to the world, and they kind of got close. They vaccinated all of the people. Now they feel themselves more comfortable. This is the same thing that Trump wanted to do to the United States, but it didn't happen. And now the situation in the United States is more dependent on the whole world's economic as we say, status and condition. So let's go through the dollar index prices. What is going on with dollar index prices? If you remember from previous review, as we said, we are waiting for reversal. Reversal actually happened. So we had a real high impulse, and after this impulse ends, we got the reversal, which is continuing. Here, maybe we got a reversal candle in a daily chart, but we have to be careful. I think that continuation of downward movement for dollar price index is more logical. 4 hour chart, what is going on here? We actually are going to retest 95.50, 95.40 maybe. And after the test of 95.50, we actually gonna have some consolidation. But next, maybe 95 could get retested as well. We have to just look through the United States 10 years yield prices, which are dumping as well. And they have a potential of next downward movement, I think so. Let's say 1.55, 1.56. That's the potential of next downward movement for yields. Due to the daily chart, today's candle actually opened near to the closure of yesterday's candle, which could mean that downward movement potential still exists. But here we could have a reversal. Here we could have the consolidation. So dollar prices maybe during the day could get more pumped, could get more consolidated, and this factor could maybe help dollar to during the day get pumped a little, and next and after that we have to actually look through how is going to actually reverse from this situation. I think that maybe it's going to continue the downward movement in the midterm. Let's see what would go on. Opposite correlation of United States dollar and the stock market indexes exist, but the S&P 500 is really pumped with a big amount of money. Now Dow Jones maybe show us the more logical, more realistic picture of the stock market situation which we have nowadays. Unfortunately, we have some widening formations in Dow Jones, and in S&P 500 we have some consolidation. Widening actually have ended, but here we are retesting a really important level of 4,700. We could get reversed after the retest of 4,710 maybe, and we have to be careful about this. So maybe during the day, let's go through the 15-minute chart and see what is going on with candles. A really moderate upward movement. It could reverse. It could reverse because we have a really important resistance here, above which we maybe in the near future won't get strengthened. So we have to be actually careful. Here we could really get some reversal movement, and dollar could maybe get more pumped in the near future due to the technical situation which we have here. And Dow Jones prices, daily chart. Yeah, today's movement could maybe end with the next closure under the yesterday's candle. So during the day, maybe we could, at the end of the day, maybe we could get a retest 35,800, 35,600. So we have to be careful. Maybe dollar prices could get pumped today, and the indexes of United States stock market could get dumped. Euro, pound, Australian dollar, and New Zealand dollar are continuing the correctional movement. The euro have retested the local resistance, and now it's kind of reversing, but we have to be careful. Here we have a range of 1.1315, 1.13, let's say 1.1320, 1.13. This range could get retested in the near future. So if we get under this range, the news is really bad for bulls. If we won't get under this range and we just retest it in the near future and we get strength above it, this would be a good news for bulls. So it all depends how much of upward dollars price movement remains and still in the markets. So due to this, we could actually maybe count how far for euro, for pound we could go again, how deep we could go again before we reverse before we reverse the trend in general meaning. So this range, you have to be careful of this range. It could get retested during the day. But above this range, we are continuing the buys. So this range here, above this range, we're continuing the buys. And GBP, the British pound, which is more powerful, which looks more powerful than euro, is actually continuing the upward movement. It could really continue the upward movement today during the day as well. But unfortunately here we have some situation which is a little disappointing. Pay attention on this resistance, which is here, 1.35. That's actually a psychological level, and the retest of psychological levels mostly cause a reversal. Mostly causes reversal, especially if this retest is really, really powerful and really impulsive. So we have two abnormal candles here, and we have the false breakthrough. It's kind of a false breakthrough, and it could really mean that maybe correctionally we could get dumped during the day. For GBP, we have to get ready for some downward reversal movement. It could continue to 1.3480, 1.3460, but as well, here this range is important as well. So you have to be careful. If we get under this range, 1.3480, 1.3460, under this range, buys are going to be so hard, and we have to be careful. If we get under this range for bulls, it would be a really bad news. But today's impulsive downward movement is actually in the 15-minute chart, shows us that maybe we could retest this level and then reverse from it. But due to the 4-hour chart, due to the 1-hour chart here, this retest of psychological level of 1.35 could really mean that maybe in the midterm prices could get stuck in a consolidational corridor, in a consolidational movement. So you have to be careful here with buys. Maybe we are going to have a better way to get into the buys, get into the long positions after the retest of this range. Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar, due to the daily chart, yesterday, yeah, they continued the downward movement, both of them, and now they are reversing. The opening of today's candle is really under the yesterday's candle. That's not a really good situation. But during the day, we could continue to see the upward movement. During the day, we could actually see the continuation of upward movement here, especially if we get strengthened above the level which we are now testing. 0.728T is, I think that's main level above which we need to get strengthened. If we are not going to strengthen above this level, that won't be a good signal. Really impulsive retest of this level from upward, it could mean that maybe prices could get reversed again from it. So you have to be careful here. We could get deeper impulsively a little bit, but here is a range as well. 0.7280, 0.72, let's say 65 maybe. And above this range, the buys are more logical, but under this range, the buys maybe could be really hard. So I think it's even better to take 0.7560, 0.7560, 0.7580. This range could get retested in the near future during the day. So after the impulsive retest of this range, probably we are going to get reversal. We are going to get reversed. We are going to continue the consolidation, and the reversal haven't happened yet, but we are waiting for it. New Zealand dollar, it's already pumping, and the situation here looks better. We are above 0.7020, and we are above a really psychological level of 0.7, which is the most important level on the charts nowadays. So we have to actually pay attention on this level, 0.7, 0.7, that's the psychological level above which we are getting pumped. Here, this retest, impulsive retest, is really disappointing for bulls in the short term. But as we see, let's say downward movement till the retest of 0.7020 could really continue. But after that, we could get strength above this level and continue the upward movement. The range is really important here. This range, 0.7020, 0.7, is a range which have to get retest. And under this range, probability of the downward movement is higher. Above this range, probability of the upward movement would be higher. So we need to be careful and look through the retest of this range, how it's going to end for the New Zealand dollar. Commodity, the price of risk assets, gold and silver, they are consolidating from yesterday, I think. And we had some divergence here, which caused the downward movement. As you see, due to the daily charts, the opening of today's candle above yesterday's candle, that's a really good news. But yesterday's candle was really impulsive. And if you pay attention here, we have a widening formation. Widening formation, it means that the volatility is getting wider. And the widening formation, as we said previously, near to the top of the market or the bottom of the market could be the signal of next reversal. So here we have to be really careful. I know that maybe for today's day, prices could maybe impulsively, speculatively retest 1,880 even, but after that maybe they are going to get dumped. So here we have some important levels and we have to pay attention on them. 1,880, which could get retested in the near future. But you have to really be careful that gold prices could maybe get dumped today. So you could use the impulsive movement. If there would be an impulsive upward movement, which caused the retest of 1,880, and then the closure of next candle under this level could mean that we have a reversal for day traders, so they could use it to continue the shorts till the main local support. And if you have such a situation, if we don't have such a situation and we are already getting dumped, it means that we need to wait for the retest of this support to get into the long positions again, if you are bulls. So for bulls, we are waiting, and for sellers, for bears, we could get retest 1,880. There's a really dangerous situation here, but and for sellers mainly for day traders here, situation is actually dangerous as well. They have to know that here this range could really get retest 1,870, 1,880. It could really get retest in the near future. So for sellers here, they have a situation as well, which could be really dangerous. So maybe we have to take more risk for sellers if you are going to fulfill the short positions. And the silver prices, as we see, dumping really aggressively, really impulsively to the main support. Here, situation could really turn into a reversal. So we could have a reversal after the retest of 25, 24, 90, but 95 is better. That's actually the range which I think prices could get retest. This range, 25, 24, 95. And after retest of this range, we could get reversed again. So for buyers, we are going to wait. For sellers, situation here is actually near to the end. So if you are not in the market now, you have to actually wait. And for sellers, situation is not really good. And as we said, for the due to the gold price chart, short-term price chart, for sellers, situation is not really so good as well. So For bulls, maybe there is some chance, but for sellers, for bears, there's actually a little bit of chance today. United States dollar to Swiss franc and United States dollar to Japanese yen consolidating as well. United States dollar could get pumped, but here we have the main thing, which is the factor that we get stuck under 114.40, and for United States dollar to Swiss franc, we are actually stuck under 92 or 92.80 or 92.88. So the next situation here could be really the continuance of downward movements. But for sellers, be sure that you would use the whole potential to get into the market. Here, due to the chart of United States dollar to Japanese yen, for sellers, maybe we are getting to the point after the retest of which we could get into the market. So sellers, get ready. Bears, get ready. There could be a probability to get into the market after the retest of this range, 114.30, 114.40. So the impulsive retest of this range is the only thing that we need, and the closure of the next candle under the level of 114.30. So if we get closed after the retest of this level, closed under this level, this could be a really good sign for sellers, so they could continue the sells, moderate sells in the future. For United dollar to Swiss franc as well. For bulls here, situation is kind of near to the end, so I'm not so sure that there's any chances for bulls to continue the movement, to continue the longs. We have a widening formation, which is not really good for traders, and it could make the risk range to get more wider, and it's not really good for trading systems. Oil prices, we actually talked about them. We are looking for reversal, and of course, if the oil prices get pumped, the Canadian dollar as well could get pumped. So here, maybe we are waiting for a more powerful reversal in the pair prices of United States dollar to Canadian dollar. United States dollar is under pressure, as we know nowadays, but oil prices as well. Oil prices could get dumped, but here this impulsive movement, upward impulsive movement, make me really think about that prices could get reversed from this resistance. Really impulsive retest of the top of the market is always the main factor of next reversal. So here we have to be careful. Maybe sellers, we could get ready to dump dollar, to sell dollar in the near future. But if the oil prices get pumped as well, so we need the really good pump of oil prices above 77.20, 77.40, which could give us a more sure, which could make us more sure about the next reversal of this pair of United States dollar to Canadian dollar. Let's go what's going on with the Bitcoin prices and Ethereum prices. The cryptocurrency market is under pressure previously due to the news background, which is not really positive. And the consolidational movement is continuing. $60,000 for Bitcoin is the main level, which is getting retested. And we're actually getting we had a really shrink volatility under this level after the retest of this level. So maybe in the future we could really get pumped a little. But as I said yesterday, as I said before that, we need to wait for midterm. We need to wait for the retest of $57,000, $55,000. We have to wait for the retest of these levels. And the main point of reversal, the main point of reversal in the prices for the bulls to return to the market is 55, even 53. So 55, 53 is the main point which you could really start buys again. And in midterm, the situation here could get really awful till the retest of $57,000 as well. Ethereum looks more powerful because of the lower volatility which it has, and it's really related to the liquidity of the coins. As you know, the Ethereum platform always try to control the volatility by deleting the coins, as we say, by the liquidation, as they make the liquidation to get lower, and this factor helps the demand of Ethereum to get higher. Here we have a real good level, is 4,200, which is getting retest, but this retest could make the prices to go impulsively under 4,100, $4,000. So we are waiting for the retest of this range, $4,100, $4,000, and after the impulsive retest of this range, we could say that maybe Ethereum could get higher. But for now, for today, we are waiting for the retest of these levels, these target levels. We have a really good accumulation of energy here, and in 15-minute chart, this support could really get broken in the near future, which could mean that after this break, we could have some strengthening. We could some upward reversals for a moment, for a while. Thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe on our channel and ring the bell so you would know what kind of programs we have in the future, and you could use them for tradings. Till next time, have good tradings. Bye bye.